Hi, I'm Sasha. Welcome to my channel. And for today's video, I wanted to talk about my thoughts about the wants and fears in The Sims 4 and what I'd like to see in the future for The Sims 4 surrounding wants and fears. Now that I played The Sims 2 a couple of times for the past year, for the first time ever, I'm not one of the players who've played previous games. If you don't know my history, I used to play The Sims Mobile for a while, and then I remember hearing about The Sims 4, but I really didn't know until one day I just got it on my PC and I've been playing ever since. I even have a channel now. And if you're like, what's that one day? It was like around February 2020. Yeah, so around like the quarantine. So The Sims became my quarantine obsession. Anyway, so now that the wants and fears are in the game and I've played with it a little bit, I'm realizing I kind of want more out of it. And I also play The Sims 2. So The Sims 2 wants and fears are sort of like a current wants and fears versus The Sims 4. While The Sims 4's wants are basically whims that are changed into wants, the fears are more lifetime type of, like, almost like an aspirational fear. Think of it like that, right? So there's like the fear of death, the fear of being cheated on, like it's like something looming over them, versus like Sims 2, the fear is like, say example, you go to a restaurant, your sim is fear of being pickpocketed. They have a fear of food being dropped on them. You know what I'm saying? A fear of like, if they're with a lover, their flirt being rejected. If they're out with a friend, them wanting to play with their friend, they have a fear that the friend's gonna say no. So The Sims 2 has current fears, and I feel like The Sims 4 would benefit for having some sort of current fears. But then when you see that how the UI is set up for fears and wants, it's like, I don't know if they could achieve that. I would, at first when I heard fears and wants, I didn't know they were gonna come up. Like, I thought whims were gonna stay in their same place, but I thought like the whole maybe fear want type of Sims 2 look was gonna be in a section where aspirations is and lifestyle, like stuff like that. Like, I thought it was gonna be in that place and it was gonna be cutely, given its own little space. But when I saw that fear was just like that one, like, bubble that was a fear, and again, it does make sense when they said, oh, it's like that one big fear looming over them that they have to work on. I was kind of disappointed. Like, let me tell you why. Because I feel like while a fear that is to work on is great, having a sim have a current fear kind of makes it fun for your gameplay. Like, it kind of creates a chaos that you want to see in your game. But then if your sim has a current fear in The Sims 4, what happens when they have their fear? Are they just gonna have scared moodlets and then +4 for like 24 hours, 2 days, and that's it, they go about it? Like in The Sims 2, there was a consequence. If sim saw their fear actually realized, they will crash and burn. They will literally go through something called aspirational failure. And that's also one thing I want to go into, is that The Sims 2 wants and fears touch up on aspiration, and The Sims 4 aspirations are completely different from The Sims 2. The Sims 2's aspirational thing was like a personality thing. So there's like family sim, romance sim, knowledge sim, popularity sim, and pleasure, I think. There's probably another one I'm forgetting. And so if you weren't doing stuff that they liked from their personality, what's their essence in their heart, they were gonna sort of go red in their aspiration and feel in life that they're growing up badly. And so I feel like, how is The Sims 4 gonna have wants and fears without tying in a Sims true essence? So there has to be traits and aspirational combination. Like, I was saying it in my mind, trait-spirational or something, trait-spirational, or I don't know what the word is, but there needs to be those two combined to something that makes you fear something for your sim is going to happen. You need to work on, example, for the Sims unflirty, you don't want to take them out in a public venue in The Sims 4 and have them kiss their partner. Like, maybe their partner kissed them, they can cringe a little, but them initiating, it's like, it might make them go, a little something, and it would make traits come to life in a sense. And aspiration, like example, there is a lots of aspirations, there's family aspirations. Maybe your sim keeps getting the whim of having a baby, but then they have a fear they don't have babies. What happens then? So there has to be some sort of what happens that's not fully answered, in my opinion, in Sims 4. And I would love to see that. And one thing that I also would love to see is, I know that aspirational doctor thingy might be a little too, let's say the word whimsical for Sims 4. Now I'm not saying that Sims 4 don't have whimsical stuff, because we got the tragic clown and flower bunny, but like, I don't know if the Sims 4 wants to introduce that kind of character into the game again. Maybe they should just make it like a rabbit hole. Sims 4 loves a rabbit hole. Maybe they should do like something on the phone, call doctor up, and maybe the doctor could be introduced like that. Like maybe the doctor can come by to their house and they can have like a session at home or talk to the doctor about something, versus it being whoop-de-doop-de-doo, you breaking down completely on the floor, needing a doctor to bring you back to reality. Maybe the Sims 4 can go sort of like a mental health sort of aspect, where they can contact a doctor over the phone. And I know maybe they're just kind of like, oh, like doctor touches up on get to work. And nowadays, while we have refreshes, it feels like they're kind of forgetting the old packs, for real. So that's also the thing that has me on my mind, is that working with wants and fears really makes them have to go back to the old packs and now really think of details to add, so that your Sims can be sort of more, is it wholesome, more full, more lifelike. Like there has to be something like that for us. And I just feel like hopefully in more updates they're thinking of these things. Okay. And one thing that I also believe that's very important for other than traits and aspiration is memory system. The wants and fears in The Sims 2 work so well with the memory system. So example, if I've seen this in my own gameplay, I had a sim, her name is Liliana, and I guess I didn't do a lot of her aspiration while she's a pleasure sim, and maybe I just didn't do that when she was a teen. Again, I'm a newbie for The Sims 2, and I was just playing. I just was like, oh, let's do this, let's do that. Like I was focused more on her mom, I'll be honest. And she aged up to young adult and felt she grew up badly, and her whole family had a negative thought of her growing up badly, because I guess she didn't get to do what she wanted during her teen years. And I was like, oh my god, there's just stuff like that you're missing out on The Sims 4, that things that tie in a sim together, things that you want as a player to work on for your sim. You don't want to see your sim feel like they had a bad life. You want to, like during her young adult years or whatever adult years, to really work so that when she ages up, she doesn't feel regretful, because I can't take that back, as she already felt it. You know what I'm saying? And so I kind of wish something like that in The Sims 4, something that's negative, you can't take back. It's said and done type thing. You know what I mean? And I feel like also more interesting conflicts between a sim. So an example I have for you is from Sims 2. I had a sim who's a family sim, and every time this lady wants to have a baby, and I'm not playing with you. One time, well, not really, but she was about to age up to be an elder, and she wanted to have a baby per usual. But this time she had a fear of wanting to have a baby. And I thought that was so cool and so realistic. I was like, wait, this lady knows she's aging up, and she knows being that old of a parent may not be good for her or the child at this current moment. She's fearful of the future. What happens to this child? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just so much thoughts you have when you see something like that as a player. And I feel like we need something like that, So another example I have is, so I have two sims. The sim I said, the family sim, her daughter's a pleasure sim, and her daughter's girlfriend in college is a family sim like her mom. Long story short, Liliana and her girlfriend Opal had a relationship in college. They went to college together, and Liliana cheated on Opal, and Opal had this she hated the woman that my girl cheated on her with. She hated Karen. Her name's Karen. She hated Karen. She wanted to see the ghost of Karen. But for some reason, she had no smoke for Liliana. She was still thinking, I'm scared Liliana's going to die from me. Girl, y'all are so young. In The Sims 2, do really Sims die that young? It's rare. You know what I mean? So I was laughing. I was like, wait, like Sims 2 can kind of go dark with it. I was like shook. And I've seen, by the way, the ghost of a Sim thinking that. Y'all, tell me why my toddler Sim, who witnessed her father cheating, she wanted to see the ghost of the mistress. I was like, hold up. What the F is wrong with this game? So I don't know if I want to see that in The Sims 4, but it's like funny and like kind of cracked. Like, how the hell did they do that? Not the toddler is wanting that, but to go back to the girlfriends in college, what I was trying to get at is that my girl Opal hated Karen. Like I said, she fought Karen for 8 hours straight, one whole night. It was unhinged. I could not believe what I was witnessing. Like, I loved every minute of the craziness, right? But what was so interesting to me was that her and Liliana years later got back together, okay? And when they got back together, Liliana proposed marriage, and she had the fear that Liliana was gonna run out at her at the altar, whereas Liliana, who was the cheater, never thought that at all. She was like confident. I guess she had Opal on her side. So there's stuff like that in The Sims 4 that is needed, like just complex thoughts. It had me thinking. Can you imagine? Like, I don't really think like that. I'm thinking for my Sims. These Sims had me thinking. Like, no, in Sims 4, there's moments like out of pocket gameplay that have me thinking, but like in The Sims 2, I'm noticing there's such a depth in these characters that sometimes you don't have to fully create storylines for them. You know what I'm saying? They're sort of guiding you in a really nice way. Here's another conflict example in my mind that just came to me. So, example, my Sim Adrina's daughter, her name is Liliana, and she and her wife got married, and her wife Opal wanted to have a baby, but Liliana's fear was to have a baby. And I picked Opal's side because Opal's a family Sim. Like, obviously, if you're marrying a family Sim, give one baby and one pet, like, let them live their life. And Liliana went to aspirational failure as a result. So there's that conflict also between couples, between family, between just other Sims, which is interesting in The Sims 2. And I need that in The Sims 4. So to round it up, wants in The Sims 4 and fears are great that they joined the game, but we need more outside of it, okay? I feel like we need something tied in with traits and aspiration combined with a memory system to really fully make the Sim whole, okay? I also feel like I remember seeing a tweet by another Plum Bob. Shout out to another Plum Bob. They said something about how sending off a Sim, like, you know, like when the Grim Reaper comes for them, to make like sort of two different animations for that, so that maybe example, if this would really tie well with the fear system, the current fear system in The Sims 4. So example, what happens in your Sims in The Sims 4 when they don't get to work on their fear and they die? So it's just gonna be plain like, you didn't work on it, whoop-de-doo, let me go move on with my life. You don't want that, right? You kind of want something to be seen. And so how another Plum Bob phrased it on Twitter, and I'll show y'all the tweet, and I'll link another Plum Bob on my socials below for y'all so you can follow. This is such an amazing simmer, y'all. Shout out to another Plum Bob. And I really love this tweet. They said they want Sims to have a proper send-off, and I believe that Sims 2 has this. I didn't really fully play Sims 2 like a whole life fully to understand the Grim Reaper system like that, but long story short, like, if your Sim, I guess, sort of like lives their whole life happily, worked on their fears, they'll have a proper send-off, like no regrets, they lived their life fully. It's like, it's seen, you know, your gameplay like kind of has like an ending for real for the Sim. And then if they did it, and you already know your Sim didn't really have a full worked on themselves, they have a sad ending, like they're sad, they're regretful, you know. And in The Sims 2, by the way, they have like wants to resurrect Sims after they die, by the way. So I don't know how to do that, but like I've seen it before. And you know, the whole, I want to see the Sim being a ghost, those Sims having those Sims realize, I mean, no shade, no tea to whoever dies in Sims 2, but that happens. So I'm telling y'all, there is so much to be in The Sims 4, and I know it could happen. That's just on them to work on. I do believe I saw a guru reply under another Plum Bob's post, but I actually think that is very realistic to join The Sims 4. At least it would work so perfect with the current fear system. But I do hope that they might move the UI of it around where the aspiration is, so that we could start really seeing how fears and wants look like in The Sims 4 versus it just being Whim 2.0, you know? I do like the cloudy thingy around them. We could still have that, but we need something else, a little bit more. At the end of the day, I'm not saying I'm right in my thoughts. This is just a discussion between hopefully grown people who are mature and gonna discuss with me in the comments their thoughts, what they want to see, what they like to be added to hopefully fears and wants in The Sims 4 for the future. So I hope you're having a lovely day. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sasha, and I hope you enjoyed this cast. It was a bit slower, you know. I usually do cast collabs lately, and this time I was like, let me just do something solo dolo. And I hope you enjoy. The Sim is very cute. I'm adding the Sim to the Black Widow save because I was playing Black Widow, putting out there for y'all. And if you don't know, I have a Black Widow series, so you can check it out there. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Take care.